Alright, I am potentially back because I've heard the good news of the Marvel Snap OTA. Um, so I guess before I get into things, I might be coming back to Marvel Snap because of how much I like these changes. Um, so if that's something you'd be interested in, please leave a comment letting me know, leave a like on the video, interact with it. I think hyping's a thing. Do something to the video to let me know that you want to see more. Um, because like I said, I've been gone for a while. So my plan is to go over these changes and then kind of read through the developer robot patch notes. I literally just made this video, but I accidentally recorded it on my webcam microphone instead of my actual microphone, so the audio was fucking awful. So round two. Um, but yeah, so just to run through them kind of quickly, Shang-Chi losing a point of power can now only destroy one enemy card. We love that. Killmonger being able to destroy all one drops to only one drops in his lane. I don't hate that. I think that as a tech card, he's worse. As like a generic tech card, he's worse, obviously. But I think he has more uses now, similar to Misery. So you can run him in decks, in non-destroy decks, where you would run Hood, and you can remove your Hood, and then also remove opposing one drops at that location. So it's like you get a little bit more value than you would from Misery, and it's cheaper, but you don't get the on reveal effect again. But you can pair it with Firehair to kind of negate that downside. So I think Killmonger could see kind of some benefits of change of scenery. So I don't hate that change. Enchantress, I'm not even sure it's a nerf, honestly. I know it sounds ridiculous. All of these OTAs are supposed to be nerfs, but in my head, getting plus one power or plus one energy cost and also getting plus two power in my head is a side grade. When I hear those things, I view them as side grades. And also 5/8 are like crazy stat lines to me. Like I think all of like the really good tech cards in the 5 cost slot end up at 5/8. Like when Annihilus was really strong, I believe he was at a 5/8 stat line. Cannonball just got nerfed, I know, but he was a 5/8 for a very long time. And then you can also compare that to tech that's at the 5/7 slot, like Lady Deathstrike and Legion, and even Ajax, but Ajax is way bigger, so that one doesn't really count. Um, But now Enchantress, to prove the point, Enchantress now beats Ajax in a one-on-one, which is a crazy interaction. I think Enchantress might actually be better now. You just you have to play her differently, but I think she's a really good like top end finisher now. Shadow King getting +1/+1. That one, Shadow King, Red Guardian, and Eliath are the three changes that make the least amount of sense to me. Shadow King in my mind has never been a very popular card except for that brief stint where he was a 2/3. I remember then he was extremely popular, but while I've been playing, he's never really been that popular, so I'm surprised they're hitting him there. Eliath is another one. Since he lost his point of power down to 6/9 and he stopped working in Surtur Scar decks, I don't remember Eliath being very popular, so that could be a me not knowing the meta in the last 2 months. And then Red Guardian, similarly, when Red Guardian went from a 3/3 to a 3/2, I thought his play rate dropped pretty significantly. Obviously, it could have picked back up, but I think the 2 points of power loss is a crazy big hit. And then Negasonic Warhead, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, I'm happy for that nerf. Once again, not sure it's a nerf. I have been playing since this OTA a decent amount, not crazy high, obviously, and also not that much. But Negasonic feels really good. Having 5 power makes it so much easier to lock down lanes, and so I think she's still good. And hard to say that's a nerf because she moved from a 3 to a 4, so now she's Zabu reducible. So there's going to be situations where she's a 3/5 now. So that's obviously just better, but then there's going to be some where you can't justify playing her. But she has a lot of power for her cost still. Like if you look at the 4 cost like slot for tech cards, 4/5's pretty up there. So It'll be interesting to see. Cerebro 5 exists as well, I'll say, and that's one to keep an eye on, I'd say. Um, and then Cosmo getting 3 points of power for the cost upgrade, I think is kind of crazy. Looking at ongoing cards, I was talking about this the first time I recorded it. I can't think of 4 cost ongoing cards that you would run. So like my thought is Moonstone, Omega Red, and Miss Marvel are the only 3 ongoing 4 drops that I can think of. So if you're looking at like a Spectrum deck or a Tribunal deck or something, like Cosmo now just fits in curve better because you can go uh, Ant-Man 1, Goliath 2, Captain America 3, and then Cosmo 4 to protect things, and it's just like good stats now. Like I think that's a buff for Cosmo, honestly. Um, but obviously they were being a little humorous in the text this week, saying they all got replaced by robots, by tech, um, and so all of these are nerfs. Um, and obviously, starting with the Shang-Chi one, definitely a nerf. This unit has exceeded standard play rate thresholds. It is also restricted deployment of multiple units in excess of 10 power to a single location. Players do not like this tech. We do not like this tech. It will be changed. Our update removes the problem. Shang-Chi will not only destroy a single unit, we also reduce his power by 1. This reduction will ensure a wide range of games experience change. Gratitude is expected. Um, so my big thing is I've been running RSM kind of tech slob still. It's good. I'll say that it feels good. Um, and I will say Shang still feels very good. Like in my opinion, and take it with a grain of salt, be mad at me, whatever. You took Shang-Chi down from like a triple S tier card to like an S minus tier card. It is still an extremely good card. It is like when I make the joke when I'm talking about this card that realistically you took it from a stat line that was a 443 because that would be 4 10 power cards at your opponent's location. Technically it's higher, it's like 4 infinite number. But like a 443 and now it's a 412. It is a 412. That is a best in class 4 drop number right there. And that's not to mention that with cards that destroy your opponent's cards, you're also taking away tempo from them. Not only are you destroying their crossbones, right? Not only are you making them have minus 10 power, they also just lost 4 energy. The 4 energy that they played to play crossbones is now not on the board. Like, that's a big factor with Shang-Chi as well. Like, it just did so much so well, and it still does a lot of that pretty well because there were not that many decks that ran multiple 10 power cards to one location. Like, it was Surtur Scar. So now Surtur Scar can actually be played. Like, don't get me wrong. That's just a big number deck that doesn't take a lot of thinking. I get it. But, like, Shang-Chi just completely did not allow that deck to exist. Like, I like this change. I think Shang-Chi will still be very strong. It's still going to be needed to help reduce the power output of those Surtur Scar decks. That's just going to be the way it is. But I think it's more tolerable now. It's not just going to be in every deck. You kind of have to think a little bit more about, do you really need to run Shang-Chi? Which is the way tech should be, right? It shouldn't be a catch-all. I like it. Um, Killmonger, I kind of already mentioned. I think it's going to see a little bit of a role change. It's going to, I think, be seen in decks similar to Misery decks. So it could see a home again in Mill. And it's more flexible now when you're using it not in destroy decks because you can limit what cards it's hitting on your side. I think it's less of a nerf than maybe the initial impression might have been. I haven't seen much on like what the community thinks about these, so I maybe am exactly in line with everyone else saying that it's not that big of a nerf. I don't know. But they said Killmonger unit is destructive in nature. Its presence in the system threatens our units. Small units need protection. This unit terminates them with no discretion. Its algorithm lacks precision. It will be changed. Killmonger unit has been operating beyond acceptable parameters. I'm surprised by that statement. I don't remember Killmonger ever being particularly crazy, so maybe I'm wrong. It could be that this tech soup thing they mentioned here. I heard that that was a deck that existed. Maybe Killmonger was in it. I don't know. The tech functionality limits enemy units effectively. Its engine functionality improves other units like Deadpool, but this combination threatens metagame safety protocols. The Zoo deck cannot achieve optimal success. We will protect vulnerable units by restricting the destructive radius of Killmonger unit to its local area. I think it makes sense. I am surprised they're doing this, especially from like a Series 2 perspective. Like my understanding was Killmonger was there to stop Zoo decks from going crazy, and now they're kind of dialing that back. So I'll be interested to see how that affects early game stuff, because I think Zoo might be the best deck now, but not really a me problem. Enchantress, right? Get the gain 1 cost, gain 2 power. The Enchantress unit is old tech. It is simple. It is a simple solution to ongoing problems. The database contains more diverse alternatives. Enchantress is unexceptional. It will be changed. So like I said, I actually think this changes a buff, in my opinion. I think a 5/8 is a much better stat line card. It now beats Ajax on its own. I think that's a huge change. I think there's a lot of cards that it now beats a lot easier. The hard part is if you use it the last turn, you pair it with the 1-drop, which can be a little bit more difficult, but I think overall it's a good change. And then I think it's obviously noteworthy to look at the tech cards that didn't get changed here. So when you're looking at Enchantress, Rogue exists. Rogue obviously is only single target, but it's an option. I think Rogue could be a very good option to maybe supplement a cheaper ongoing removal card. Shadow King, going to a 3/3. It is fun for players to boost the power of their units to large numbers. Note, boost is efficient and clear. Flag and review for integration. This is interesting to me. So they say that they nerf Shadow King, and then they're saying that the decks that Shadow King hit might also get nerfed. So it sounds like you maybe shouldn't have nerfed Shadow King. Um, but I did notice that both of the last two season pass cards, last three season pass cards, have all been buff cards. Right? You have Mr. Fantastic, and then the Fantastic Car, and then First Steps Galactus, and then this season's Viv Vision. There's a lot of cards that are really good into boosting right now, and then that's not to mention like move decks seem really strong with Sparky. Um, so I mean, I think Shadow King will still be good. Just 3/3 just takes a little bit more energy to do it now, but there's definitely a lot of decks that Shadow King still hits, so I think you're still gonna see him used. Look out, Cerebro 3, you got a new king in town, mayhaps. Negasonic, like I said, 4/5, she seems really good. Searching dictionary for Negasonic doesn't exist. A linguistic error embarrassing for humans. Developers should avoid surfacing this error through gameplay. This adolescent unit is also destructive. There's so much destruction. Units are in danger. The system is compromised. We will reduce the efficiency of this unit to discourage its use. It will be changed. Like I said, I was running this card as well in the Arsham deck, and dude, Negasonic would just win me so many games. Having 5 power feels so good. And also, this is another like big number I think to look at where Cerebro 3 is interesting. Cerebro 5 is very interesting to me. So I will be curious to see if Cerebro 5 gets a bit of a resurgence because it gains a pretty good tech card. I can't think of any other 5 power tech cards. So I am curious about how that could have an impact. But I think Negasonic's still good. Alioth losing 3 points of power. Scanning threat level multiversal. Devoid of Alioth unit can consume matter, time, and even fun. Its power must be tightly controlled. The developers have exercised inadequate caution. It does not need this much power to function. We will protect you. It will be changed. That's crazy to me. I just don't remember life being that strong after it loses its point of power, right? After it couldn't be used in Surtur Scar decks, I just don't remember it being that good ever. Obviously, I must be mistaken that like it was good. If they took 3 points of power off it, it must have been good. But I just don't ever remember it being that crazy. And then to pair with that, the Red Guardian change going to a 3/0. Removing text from other units has dangerous potential. This unit cannot be trusted with additional power until we verify its judgment and capacities. It will be changed. The Red Guardian unit will be permitted to apply for additional power in a future OTA required sponsorship document from 5 or more teammates. So, like I said, I don't remember it being used very much after it got its point from 3/3 to 3/2. And then they took 2 more points, saying they might give some back in the future. Being under 2 power is a dangerous position, in my opinion, especially if they go back to a 3/1, because Ravona is, the clear, no, the clear card to be concerned about. So I think we'll just have to see how things play out, but I don't imagine we see a lot of Red Guardian now that he's a 3/0. That's a tough, tough stat line there. 3 energy for remove text and -2 afflict on the other card. I think I would have rather it been a 3/2 that just removes text. I think having its only power be that -2 is rough. Obviously, it helps with afflict decks that it has that, but it feels bad to be a 3/0, I think. Last is Cosmo. Dog detected. We don't like dogs. It will be changed. Clarification. Sparky is acceptable. I don't even know if this is a nerf, man. Like I mentioned, I think it fits curve really well for 4 drops in ongoing decks. It's maybe a little worse outside of ongoing decks, maybe a little costly, but it seems good. It seems like a lot of power, and I'm not complaining about that. I think at worst this now counters like the unrevealed cards better, right? Because like it protects your cards better. It also adds stats to those locations. I like cards that counter cause or that cause. Holy heck! I like cards that counter Shadow King and Shang, so I like him being better, which is what I think he is. I think he's better. Changes complete. The metagame was good. The metagame is now better. Players may now resume play. Developers will be returned to their domiciles for re-education. Release will be granted based on merit and infinite rank. You may submit feedback on our changes. We will let the developers read it if they behave. Our intellect will evaluate the metagame again in 2 weeks. More changes will be made. Some changes will be reversed. I hate that. I hate that. That might mean that Shang gets unnerved, and I don't like to hear that. Human developers may be allowed to participate. Um, so yeah, I mean, I love the OTA. I think it's a big step in the right direction, but that some changes will be reversed. I don't like it. I I mean, obviously, if things have bad feedback, change it. But I don't like the blanket. Some things are already going to be reversed. I don't like it. I've been playing more. The metagame has felt diverse. I've ran into so many different decks. I'd say discard probably has been the most popular that I've been seeing, but I've seen a lot of Surtur Scar, a lot of Mr. Negative, and a lot of Tribunal or just general ongoing decks, but specifically Tribunal. So it just feels very diverse, feels like a very big breath of air that this breath of life that this change has put into the game. So I'd be sad to see some of these get reversed, except for like Red Guardian and Goliath. Maybe they can probably get reversed. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed, please let me know. Leave a like, comment, interact with the video to let me know you want to see, and then I can make some deck videos. It won't be the same upload consistency as before. I've been extremely busy with work and school, so it'll be maybe once, twice a week, but it's better than nothing, right? And it'll let me get better quality decks. So decks that I'm actually really enjoying and really having success with would be the decks that I focus on. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. Anyway, I'll see ya in the next one.